Become Jehovah's Friend, Jehovah's Witness cartoon. It is disgusting. And if you've seen what I uncovered in Sophia's bedroom about 2 weeks ago, then it's not going to surprise you to see that what I found in Caleb's room is just as bad, maybe even worse than what was in Sophia's bedroom. This cartoon, Become Jehovah's Friend, I'm convinced that every single episode has something subliminal in the background that's made to corrupt children at a very young age. In fact, when I was in this organization, they pretty much encourage any parents that at infancy, they should be playing Caleb and Sophia in the background. But seriously, Caleb and Sophia is meant for infants to maybe about the age of 10 years old, but that's what they expect. That if you have even a newborn baby, you should be playing Caleb and Sophia in the background. So this organization, they want to brainwash and corrupt people when they're in their child development. So if you go to the video, Become Jehovah's Friend, Satanic Jehovah's Witness cartoon for brainwashing, lesson 36, discipline is love. You're going to be skeptical when I first show it once through, but if you've been watching my channel, you know that I always break things down to an undisputed level where by the time I'm done breaking something down, there's no question that it is pretty much exactly what I'm saying that it is. So first I'm going to play the scene just once through, and I want you to just pay attention to Caleb's mother. And notice if Caleb's mother is wearing a bra or not. Now, keep in mind, this is supposed to be for infants to about the age of 10 years old. This is for children. This is toddler stuff. Caleb and Sophia is not meant to entertain teenagers. It's for children, right? It's very clear that this is for children. So when I ask if Sophia's or if Caleb's mom is wearing a bra or not, and if you notice her breast swinging around and jiggling in front of Caleb, ask yourself, is this normal to put this in a cartoon for toddlers? Right? So just notice when she walks in a room and notice if it looks like she's wearing a bra or not.
Caleb, why aren't you playing outside?
Dad said I'm punished.
Oh, I see. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines you. Hey, do you remember when we planted the fruit tree?
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to fast forward a little bit just through this part.
No, they helped it grow straight.
Yes. Jehovah and Dad correct you sometimes too, like the tree. Do you remember what the Bible says? Jehovah disciplines.
Jehovah disciplines the ones he loves.
So why does it look like she's not wearing a bra? Now, it may sound like I may be reading too much into this, so now I'm going to play it again, but I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit closer.
Caleb, why aren't you playing outside?
Dad said I'm punished.
Oh, I see. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines. Caleb, why aren't you playing outside?
Dad said I'm punished.
Oh, I see. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines. You know Dad loves you, even when he disciplines. You know Dad loves you, Even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you. Even when he disappoints.
So why are her breasts moving around, swinging around like that with such detail that you can tell she's not wearing a bra? Now, I know that Jehovah's Witnesses are extremely brainwashed, so this may go over their head a little bit. So let me just break this down. If this was a real person, if she was an actor, and maybe she forgot her bra on set, and then the producer didn't catch it, you could say, okay, yeah, she forgot to put a bra on. It's a mistake. This is a cartoon for toddlers, for children. Again, they expect if you have a newborn baby, you should be playing and feeding them Caleb and Sophia videos. So when it comes to a cartoon, there are no mistakes because everything has to be drawn in. But why not just make her flat chested? I mean, it's for toddlers. Why have this sort of shape to begin with? But the main thing that's disturbing about this is the way her breasts are moving around, indicating she doesn't have a bra. For anybody, mainly Jehovah's Witnesses, that you're thinking, okay, I'm reading too much into this, I'm going to now prove to you what I'm saying. So for anyone that thinks that I'm reading too much into this or I'm making things up, I'm going to show you from jw.org that this is very deliberate. So I'm going to show you this by looking at some other characters in Caleb and Sophia to see if everybody's breast moves like that. Because if this is just my imagination and there's nothing wrong with it and it's just animation, you should expect that every female adult breast moves like that, right? Like as if they're not wearing a bra. So let's take a look at another random Caleb and Sophia video and look at some other women to see if it looks like this. So I'm going to use lesson 47, who should be my friend? And you can do this test yourself. Look up any Caleb and Sophia videos and just look for grown women and let me know if you see other grown women that have breasts that are jiggling around like that, indicating they're not wearing a bra.
Hey there.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you like to draw? I like your notes. Really cool.
Mom taught me. Pictures help me remember.
So this grown woman, right? Maybe she's not that old, but basically her chest is flat as a board, which it should be for a toddler cartoon. Right? I mean, if you look up any other cartoons for children, not teenagers, children, show me another cartoon that needs to put that type of detail where you can actually see that the cartoon character is not wearing a bra. So as you see with this other woman, it's flat as a board as it should be for toddlers. So let's take a look at another female in this same video.
Settle down. Time to get started. We have a lot to talk about today. Before we begin, for those of you that participated in the science club this weekend, we will be having another camping trip. But only the ones with the highest score on the math project.
Now you can see that his teacher is being depicted as more heavyset than Caleb's mother. So if somebody's breast needs to be jiggling around, wouldn't it be this other woman, this teacher, who is much more heavyset? But look how modest she looks. I mean, they even gave her a second shirt and you can see everything is tight as it should be, right? There's nothing jiggling around. So why is it if you look on the left, it's like she doesn't have a bra on? Well, what would make the Watchtower people who are making this cartoon make these decisions to decide this person is going to have a bra and this person's not going to have a bra, and their breasts are going to be dingling around like that. So I'm going to take a look at one more example of this. What better other person to compare Sophia's mom to, or Caleb and Sophia's mom to, than Caleb and Sophia's mom herself? Right? Because if anyone's trying to say that I'm seeing things and her breasts are not jiggling around like she's not have wearing a bra on, then in every video with Caleb's mom in it, you should see the same thing, right? If it's just animation and it's in my imagination, then it should be in every video, right? So let's take a look at Caleb's and Sophia's mom in another video and see if she has a bra on. So I'm going to use this video called Lesson 2, Obey Jehovah.
Oh no, it's Sparlock!
Caleb!
We need someone to save us!
Caleb!
Sparlock can activate your
Caleb!
magic, Sparlock!
Hi. How was school today?
Fine. Look at Sparlock's magic key!
Caleb, what toy is that?
It's Sparlock, the warrior wizard!
Whoa, a warrior wizard.
Yeah, my friend gave it to me. All the kids are going to see the movie. Can I see it too?
Oh, your friend gave this to you.
So clearly you can see that her breasts are not jiggling around like they were in the other video. Right? So that's the first thing. But did you catch something else? Something very disturbing, something that shows how sick and diabolical and deliberate everything is with this organization? Did you notice what it looked like she was wearing? Well, if you look very closely, she's wearing a bra. And maybe more of a sports bra or some sort of a like female tank top, but either way, she's wearing like a sports bra. Now, I was kind of speechless when I first found this. I almost don't even know how to break this down. It's this is so crazy. So I wanted to just explain this. First of all, remember that this is not an actor, right? So it's not like one day she's on set with a bra and then the next day she forgot her bra and the director didn't catch it. It's a cartoon, right? So there's no mistakes. So there's two things that are seriously wrong with this. One, the fact that you can see she's wearing like a sports bra and her breasts are not jingling around like the other video, it shows very clearly that other scene is deliberate. It is clearly deliberate. But the other thing that's so disturbing about this is why would they make that detail, right? So think about the people making this cartoon. So she has like a green shirt on. Why even make that little white line indicating that she's got like a sports bra on? It's for toddlers. Why do you need that type of detail? That doesn't make any sense, right? You don't need that there. So this is my question. When you understand that everything this organization does is very deliberate, they think about every little thing they plant in these videos. It's just like the Machu Picchu poster on Sophia's wall. So when they decide that they're going to make an effort to draw that one little white line there indicating that she has a bra on, it shows how deliberate that other scene is. What they're basically exposing with this is that in some episodes, Sophia and Caleb's mom wears a bra and everything is tight like it should be. And in other cases, she's not wearing a bra and her breasts are dingling around. That's what they're exposing. What other reason would they have to draw that little white line there? And this is the way that they sexualize everything. So it's very disturbing when you think about the fact that they did that. So let me just go on. So another thing I want to break down about this, just to explain this. So when I was in the first grade, and I can't do the math right now. I don't know if I started the first grade at 5 years old or how old I was in the first grade, but I remember that I had a crush on a girl named Monique. And this was in the first grade. And I remember her name. Her name was Monique. And it's the very first crush I've ever had. Now, I don't remember anything else about her. I wouldn't even recognize her if I seen her again today. And this person means nothing to me. It's just the fact that I remember her name. Her name was Monique. And then in the second grade, I had a crush on a girl named Amy Beth. And then in fourth grade, I had a crush on a girl named Tani. And then in the fifth grade, I had a crush on a girl named Serena. Now, going back to the first grade, Monique, the reason I remember her name is again, it's not that any of these people mean anything to me, but when you're a child, things imprint on your brain a lot deeper than as you get older. So I remember her name being Monique because that was just the very first crush I ever had. Now, it was nothing sexual. I mean, I wouldn't even, the only thing I would think that I would want to do is basically maybe hold her hand or something like that. Maybe not even that. All that I knew in the first grade was that I liked her for some reason. And that's it. I didn't know anything about sex or anything. Now, I bring that up because if you put stuff like this in children's cartoons, even in the first grade, it's going to imprint on their brain, right? If the very first time that they're introduced to something like this, like breast jiggling around like this in a cartoon, is going to affect their brain. That's what I'm saying. This Watchtower is sick. They know exactly what they're doing. So, and this is something that maybe Jehovah's Witnesses who basically live in a twilight zone, who have no idea what reality really is, if you were raised in this religion, you may not understand these concepts. But normal cartoons for toddlers don't have this stuff in it because it's going to mess with their it's going to mess with their upbringing, right? It's going to distort it. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, so I can't break it down 100%, but you don't put this in children's cartoons because they're going to notice that. A little boy watching this, he's going to notice that her breasts are jiggling around like that. He might not even know that they're called breasts, but it's going to affect their brain. And they're going to remember the first time they seen breasts jiggling around, period. And again, for witnesses who live in a twilight zone, they don't have any concept of anything. They're going to feed this garbage to their children because the governing body tells them to do it. They can't think for themselves. But this is not okay because you're corrupting the minds of children. There's no reason, period, that you're going to have the same character. And in some episodes, she's got a bra and everything is tight. And in other episodes, it's jingling around like that. There's no reason for that, period. And in the last video that I did, Watchtower sexualizes Jesus' birth, the unforgivable sin. I understand a lot of people in the comments, they kept saying, most people could see exactly clearly what's going on, but the people that are brainwashed, oh, it's just a bad actor. And not just the people that are brainwashed, even some XJWs thinking the same thing, it's just a bad actor. The reason that myself and these three other co-hosts that I had, the reason it's so clear to us that it's not a bad actor is because when you study Watchtower, they work in patterns. It's a pattern with Watchtower. It's just like all the subliminal imagery and everything, it's a pattern. They sexualize everything. And when you see the detail and the way that they do it, it's not a bad actor. It's and I want to call this the Three Stooges symptom. This is what I call the Three Stooges syndrome, where people can see that the people that run Watchtower are evil geniuses. These people are so diabolical and smart. You can't brainwash 8 million people and not be some sort of a genius, right? I mean, to get parents to never talk to their children again because they question these guys in New York and they'll never talk to, that takes genius level, right? So the people behind his organization are geniuses, period. So you can't be a genius on one hand, and then when they get caught doing stuff like this, it's just a bad actor. Like they're now suddenly they're just Three Stooges. The government by the Three Stooges. They don't know what they're doing. They just threw some actor in there, and the actor for no reason is just making orgasm sounds when she's supposed to be giving birth to Jesus. Oh, it's just a bad. There's nothing is by chance. Now, yes, they do have bad actors, but the people that run these things, they know what they're doing. They know how to place people. They know exactly what they're doing. So no, it's not a bad actor. But the reason I wanted to bring this last video up is because a lot of people in the comments that were thinking it's just a bad actor, these people I watched her follow a pattern. Nothing is not on purpose. So when you see one episode where they clearly got her in some sort of a sports bra, and then you see this where she's on the bed with Caleb and everything is jingling around like that, they put these sexual things on purpose and everything. And what's so disturbing about this is for toddlers. Again, if you're a witness, if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you have children, they expect with a newborn baby that you should be playing Caleb and Sophia in the background. That's literally what they expect people to do. So I want to go to the end of this scene now and look at this last image right when she's done talking to Caleb and she's about to hug him. So you see what I have circled there. Look how defined they're making her breast right there. Why? Why is she not flat chested like the other examples that I showed you? Right? Why? Again, when you're a young boy and you're in the first grade, you're gonna pay attention to this kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about this is not to be confused with hitting puberty. Way before children hit puberty, if you put stuff like this in front of them, it's gonna affect their brain. They're gonna notice it. So my question is, in this particular scene right here, why did the artist feel like they need to be that much detail? It doesn't make any sense. Well, obviously, it makes sense when you understand that it's on purpose. So another thing, and this is going to go into the more even darker elements of what's in Caleb's room. So when I look at her face right there, and this is just my opinion. I don't have anything to back this up. But when I look at her face, it looks very devilish. It looks devilish. That's all that I can say. I can't explain why, but the look that she has, it has a more devilish look. It's almost like she's either going to sexually molest her child or she's going to offer him up as a human sacrifice. Like literally, that to me, that's the face that she has. It doesn't look like a normal way she's looking at him. It looks like she's like a devil worshiper and she's gonna like again do something or offer him up to like I don't know at the Sun Temple at Machu Picchu, right? Which connects to Sophia's bedroom. So I just get this very eerie feeling from the way that she looks, the way she's looking at him, and then her breast popping out like that, that there's no reason for that. Like it doesn't sit well with me. So when I say that she looks very devilish, and again, I can't really put my finger on why that vibe is coming through. So all of you watching, you may wonder, is Is this just me just reading into this too much that I'm getting that devil aspect? Well, notice what one of my subscribers uh made a comment on another video on. So Jane Bennett 9, and she's also the same subscriber that actually had the proof on her cell phone still when the congregation was taking the donations from Trump and lying about it and saying it was from Jehovah. She actually has the evidence on her phone. But anyway, so Jane Bennett 9, she left me this comment. She said, if you look at Caleb's wall when they zoom in on a video, discipline is love, where the mom says Jehovah disciplines. If you pause and screenshot, you can see 3 6s on the wallpaper. Also on the wallpaper is Saturn, which, when researched, has a link to Satan. So again, this is something that she sent me a comment on a previous video, had nothing to do with me looking into Caleb's room and getting that devilish aspect on my own, that devilish vibe that I was getting from it. So this is what she is making the claim of, that basically there's a 666 on a wallpaper, and also there's a connection with the planet Saturn. So let's take a look at what she's talking about. Now, this is not even the same exact part that she told me to look at. She said when she says something about discipline, you see the 3 6s on the wall, but as soon as I looked at this, the 6s stood out right away, like right away. So what I'm seeing is, again, 3 6s. Now, let me just explain this. So you notice I got 3 6s circled in red. And then towards the right of the screen, the upper right, I have another object circled in blue, or like with a square blue. So let me just zoom in on these objects and explain to you what's going on. The way subliminal messages are supposed to work, and this is probably the most skilled subliminal message that I found in all my videos breaking this down on my channel. You see, like the Machu Picchu thing, that was like if the people were drunk. Like they like if the writers were drunk and they were just sloppy, and they made it so obvious that they spelled out Machu Picchu, right? Like that was too obvious. But a real subliminal message isn't supposed to be as obvious as flat out writing Machu Picchu on Sophia's bedroom. This is a really skillful way that they're planning 666 subliminally in your head. So, and again, for those who are Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to give you a pass. If you are Jehovah's Witness and you think that I'm just seeing things, I want to give you a pass, and I'm not even going to say anything negative, because I don't expect the Jehovah's Witness, honestly, to be smart enough to be able to see a subliminal message that is done this well. But this one is done well. So basically, what they did is Caleb's wallpaper is full of different planets. And this planet that you can see, so if you notice to the right of the screen, the one that I have highlighted in blue, it's like a planet, and it's got like a white stripe in the middle, almost like the stripe of like a skunk, like if that gives you an idea of what I'm saying. And on that one, you can see that it is a planet. But you see on the other three, that white line is faded just enough where it gives you the image that those are 6s, 666. And this is the real way that subliminal messages are supposed to be done. It's supposed to be hidden. So the average Jehovah's Witness would look at this and say, oh, no, it kind of looks like a 6, but no, it's just a planet, right? It's just a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence. Is it just a coincidence that it just happens to be 3 of the ones that look like 6s? Of course not. It is 666. And this is how they're hiding it. They're hiding it with that weird shape of the planet. So now, if you want a better idea of this type of of way that this is done. You can go to Google and search 666, search Subliminal 666. And when you search that, one of the first ones that's going to pop out is Disney. And I'm not going to put this on my screen because when it comes to Disney, because you see, my job on this channel is to expose Watchtower. I have a right to expose Watchtower. Watchtower destroyed my life within that time I was a Jehovah's Witness. They brainwashed me, they used me, and in all honesty, I would say they owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars, to be honest, for pain and suffering, waste of money, time, a marriage, all that stuff, brainwashing. So I look at this as my karmic duty to expose Watchtower. And I will expose other things that they are connected with as far as Watchtower's involvement with. When it comes to Disney, that's not my place. I'm not here to attack Disney or some other random organization. So I'm not going to get into the Disney stuff. But if you want an idea of what I'm talking about, just search 666 Subliminal and look at the Disney logo and other ones that pop up, and you're going to see the same exact style. The style of, to make a good subliminal message, you want it to be just like this, where it's giving off that vibe, it's giving that image of the 666. But when you look at it, oh no, it's just a planet. Well, no, it's not a coincidence that three of them are sixes. So now let's take a look at the other thing that Jane Bennett and I mentioned. So she mentions at the end of the message, she says, also on the wallpaper is Saturn, which when researched has a link to Satan. So before I explain that, let me just show you what she's talking about in Caleb's room. So as I mentioned before, that his wallpaper is full of planets. But in certain scenes, the planet Saturn stands out the most. It is on his wall more than other planets. And that one is the most distinctive. Now, some might say, oh, well, but that's because Saturn is automatically distinctive because of the ring around it. That's true. But here's where you could see the emphasis on Saturn, because you already see that Saturn is on his wall more than the other planets. But then if you look at what I have squared in blue, you have an individual drawing of just the planet Saturn. Right? So you see it's a pattern that Watchtower is using. So they got the subliminal Saturns all over the wall, but then to emphasize something special, particularly with Saturn, he has an individual poster of Saturn, unlike the other planets on his wall. Now, another thing about this is that you see Watchtower works in patterns. And some people who watch my videos, they think that, you know, I'm stretching or I'm reading too much into things. Well, let me just explain something about reading into things too much. When you understand the way subliminal programmers work, like say, for example, if you just look at advertisements, say McDonald's has a new hamburger. Everything that that McDonald's commercial does, the colors, the language, the lighting, everything is meant to have a subliminal effect on your subconscious to make you want to go out and buy that hamburger and not realize it's because of all the little subliminal things in the background that you're reading into with your subconscious. You see, that's how subliminal messages work. They're relying on people to read too much into these things. That's the only way that they can affect you. You have to read into these things. That's how they work. That's how they're designed. Now, the only difference between what I'm doing and normal subliminal programming is that they want you to read into these things with your subconscious without you realizing it. So in order to find these things, you have to read into these things, right? It's like putting together a puzzle. That's the way they put these things in here is the way you have to expose it. And there's a reason why on my channel, there is no other XJW channel that has exposed as many subliminal things as I have single-handedly. Now, there's a lot of XJWs who they do actually talk about these things that are already circulating, but there is no other channel that you can say has uncovered exclusively single-handedly on my channel. No other XJW has done that. And I'm not saying that to brag. The reason I'm saying that is because I am reading into these things. So when people say, oh, you're reading into these things too much, that's how you find these things. That's how they're designed. Watchtower follows a pattern. And once you understand that pattern and know how to read it, it's all over the place. So another pattern that I want to show you with this whole thing with Caleb's room is you'll notice that there is 3 pictures on the wall. So you have the wallpaper that subliminally has all the little Saturns, and to emphasize that Saturn, then on those 3 pictures on the wall, one of them is Saturn, which matches what they're emphasizing with the wallpaper. And then you have these 2 other pictures. Now, at this point, I don't know what the meaning of those other pictures are. There's probably a meaning behind them. I don't know what that is. But it's significant the way they have the 3 pictures on the wall and the wallpaper. Now, the reason I want to mention that is because if you've seen my video titled Jehovah's Witnesses Secretly Connected to Machu Picchu, Sophia's bedroom used the same exact pattern. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about reading into it. This is how you find it. They follow a pattern. Nothing is coincidence. It's a specific pattern. So in Sophia's room, you have the individual butterflies all over the wallpaper, and then the emphasis on one of the posters being a butterfly. Same thing. Now, I don't know for certainty what the butterfly means. Many people think it's connected to MK Ultra and the monarch butterfly as a symbol for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jehovah's Witness religion is one big MK Ultra project, because I've said before, I don't think the governing body are really running the show. I don't give those 8 men credit to brainwash 8 million people on the scale. So there could be something bigger going on. But clearly there's a subliminal indication with the butterfly, right? So you got the individual butterflies on the wallpaper and then the one butterfly poster. And then you also have the 3 pictures on the wall, specifically the number 3. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, but I think that every one of these pictures has a meaning. Obviously, the Machu Picchu is the biggest meaning, the most obvious meaning, but the fox, I think, means something too. So it's a pattern. And this is why I think my subscriber Jane Bennett 9 found this in Caleb's room. Right now, I don't know because I haven't spoke to her about it, but I'm assuming that she got curious and looked at Caleb's room because she understands the pattern. It's a pattern. It's once you understand Watchtower, what we discovered in the Machu Picchu and Sophia's bedroom, at that point, it's a given that there's something in Caleb's room too. That's not a coincidence. So that's probably why she even looked in Caleb's room, because you can see it's the same exact pattern, right? The wallpaper, and then what matches the wallpaper is emphasis on one of the posters. And then both of these images got 2 satanic things that they're throwing at you. So in Sophia's room, what we know for sure is the connection to the MK Ultra monarch butterfly, if that's what that's emphasizing, and a Machu Picchu poster. And in Caleb's room, it's the 666 on the wall, and then the planet Saturn, and the individual Saturns on the wall with the individual picture. And then again, both of them have 3 pictures on the wall. It's not a coincidence, it's a pattern. And if anybody understands what that sequence is with the numbers, why there's this 3 pictures on a wall, and if anybody knows what those other pictures on Caleb's room, what they mean, let me know in the comments if you have any ideas, or if you can decode it. But it's a pattern with these people. It's not a coincidence. In fact, the odds of this being a coincidence, when you look at the design of their bedrooms, it's impossible. So when Jane Bennett 9 mentioned the whole thing with Saturn, now again, most witnesses, they live in a bubble, so they may not even understand the connection with Saturn and Satan. So I'm not going to get into this because it's very deep. There's lots of different theories behind this whole connection with Saturn. But without even getting into the different theories, these are some books on it. The first one are From Satan to Saturn. The one in the middle, Saturn, A New Look at the Old Devil. The third one, The Saturn Death Cult. So there's a connection with Saturn and Satan, which is why the names are so similar. So just one quick theory that I've heard, and there's a lot of different theories about it, but I know that some ancient cultures, what they believe is that the ring around Saturn is giving off a frequency and sending it to the Earth. And it's that frequency coming from the planet Saturn, which why there's so much evil on planet Earth is because it's coming from the ring of Saturn. Now that's one of these ancient theories. And then over time, this idea that the planet Saturn was responsible for the evil all over the Earth, it eventually turned to a guy named Satan, right? Or a guy named Saturn that later became Satan and made it into the Bible as Satan, right? Now, I'm still trying to figure out what I believe after leaving Watchtower, but in all honesty, I think that the idea that there's a negative frequency coming from the planet Saturn, it kind of makes more sense to me than a guy named Satan, the boogeyman that's responsible for everything. But I'm not going to go down to those rabbit holes because I haven't really dug deep into these areas. But and to make a long story short, there is a connection with Satan and Saturn, and that is why the names are all basically the same, basically. And this book is interesting. So this book on the left, Into the Eye of the Monster, Saturn, Satan, Q Pyramid. And I thought this book was interesting because if you look in the middle, it's the whole all-seeing eye pyramid thing. And so I didn't know that all-seeing eye pyramid had a connection to Saturn worship. So I couldn't help to wonder, is that why they built their assembly hall in Denmark to resemble the all-seeing eye? Like, does it have to do with them being Saturn worshipers? I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, witnesses certainly are not going to tell you why they built that building like that, and you'll get called an apostate for asking if you're a witness. But I don't know. I just found that interesting because I didn't know that was connected with Saturn worship. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they built that hall in Denmark like that. And for anyone who's new to my channel, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just type that address on Google Earth, put it right in Google Earth, and then go to layers and borders. And you'll see that the name Jehovah's Witnesses is still attached on that property. And for more information, I got a couple videos on my page about that particular assembly hall. So clearly, again, I didn't work with Jane Bennett on this video on my own. When I looked into Caleb's room and I noticed she's not wearing a bra, and to me, she looks, again, the look on her face looks like she's going to offer up Caleb to like as a human sacrifice. It's a devilish look, period. And if I had time, I don't want to make this video too long, but I could show you movies of like human sacrifices and how the actors look. And that's the look she has on her face. Like she could offer him up as a human sacrifice or do something else to him. And I was already getting that Satan vibe just from looking at her face and her not wearing a bra. And then coincidentally, as I'm already feeling that more of a satanic element to this, Jane Bennett uncovered the 666 on the wall and the emphasis on Saturn worship, right? So again, nothing is by coincidence. And the exact pattern in Caleb's room is the exact pattern in Sophia's room. And if there's an episode that has the parents' bedroom, I can guarantee you it's going to be the same pattern, if that even exists. So this cartoon, Become Jehovah's Friend, Jehovah's Witnesses are, again, they're told at infancy, play this for your newborn babies in the background. They should grow up on this. With this new cartoon, well, it's not new, it came out in 2012, but all the Jehovah's Witness kids that now have this cartoon, they're going to be far more messed up than those of us who didn't have this growing up. This cartoon, it's sick and it is disgusting. And every episode of this cartoon has got something sick and disgusting and satanic in it, period.
You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints. You know Dad loves you, even when he disappoints.